Hello, Louisa Jewell here. We at the Canadian Positive Psychology Association launched the first Canadian Workplace Wellbeing Awards in 2021 to seek out companies who were committed to creating healthy and happy workplaces for their people, and we wanted to learn from these companies. If the awards is new to you, you can learn more by going to cppa.ca/CWWA 2024. Now in its third year, I am thrilled to say that we had 10 winning organizations across Canada in 2023. I have the great honor and privilege to interview our winners to learn more about how they improve well-being in the workplace, including strategies, tools, and tips. Today, I am interviewing Megan Wilson, who is a director at Sklar Wilton Associates. They won in the small company category, and they've won 3 years in a row. Sklar Wilton Associates is a leading strategy and insights partner. They work with savvy brand builders to help them unlock growth by uniquely fusing together strategy, insights, facilitation, and storytelling. Their work helps drive business decisions and leads to clarity, action, and real results. Listen in as Megan talks workplace well-being and the next generation of thinking on this topic. Hello, I want to welcome Megan Wilson from Sklar Wilton, and Sklar Wilton won in the small company category for the Canadian Workplace Wellbeing Awards. So congratulations again, Megan, on this wonderful achievement.
Thank you. Thank you. We're so honored. This is such an incredible award, and I know we've been supporters of it from the start, and we're honored. We can't believe that we're being recognized for a third time. So it's very exciting, and it's a great honor for the team.
Yeah, it is wonderful. I mean, 3 years in a row. I mean, our first year we just had one winner, and that was you. And it's really great to see how you continue to create resources, how you continue to promote workplace well-being, not only within your organization, but outside of your organization for other companies as well. So I'd love to. Can you share more? You started programs in 2013 with your Spirit 32 program. Can you tell us more about what that is?
Absolutely. So it came about 2013. It's wild to think that it was 10 years ago at this point, but we're an organization that's been around for a lot longer than that. What the team started to see, we do annual engagement surveys, is that although the team was very engaged with the work we were doing with the company and with the business, they were drained and they were starting to feel a little burnt out. We were noticing those elements. So there was a need for something to really care for our team and our employees. So that was where Spirit of 32 came from. And even kind of taking a step back, when that realization happened, that something was needed, we went out into the market to try to find examples of other companies who were doing well, like something to kind of guide us. We always believe like we never start from a blank page. We like starting from where others are, and we weren't actually finding anything. So we decided, we have these Sklar Wiltonisms. We talked about making it up and making it real. So we were like, nothing's out there and let's do it ourselves. So what could this look like? So it's based on 3 pillars of mind, body, and spirit, really looking to equip our team with life skills toolkit to allow them to have work-life balance, prioritize their physical and mental health, and really their overall well-being. And it included a mix of internally developed and externally sourced materials. So it had multiple elements. We had some training sessions. There were other things at the time, like a lot of signage. We had I think about back to when we were in the office, we had a meditation room that was available to employees. Like there were little things that we started to do to really start to care for what was at the time, but we weren't talking about it in that way, whole person well-being. So that kicked off in 2013. It was employee run and operated. Every year we were getting feedback on what sessions worked, which didn't, where employees kind of felt like they needed more support. And we would develop ongoing sessions. Again, either our team was leading them, either workshops or lunch and learns and things of that sort, or we would have other external trainers come in. So we did sessions on sleep, meditation, healthy eating. We did some physical activity modules. There's like a long list of everything we've done in these past 10 years. Some of them keep getting brought back because they continue to be helpful. And I know this particular year we focused on sleep, like sleeping well, because I know that was a bit of a gap. Energy management, I know that's been a big thing in the past few years. Like, how do we just maintain and manage our own energy, and things of that sort. So that is where Spirit of 32 was first born. And it was coined because at the time we were 32 employees. So the intent was like we were caring for our 32 employees, where now those numbers have ebbed and flowed, but it stuck.
Right. And so I love that story because you just kind of created something that was unique for Sklar Wilton, created by employees, created by your team. What were some of the challenges and roadblocks that you encountered as you started to create a program and then roll out a program like that?
I think something we continue to see and we've learned is it's not one size fits all, right? So luckily we had buy-in from our leadership team right away. So that obviously was really, really helpful and always helps. We see this with all organizations to get something like this kicked off. But not everybody felt equally moved by all the pieces of it. As I said, we've had long lists of modules. Some things are really relevant to some and not to others. And I think we find in general, when you're creating these training environments and modules, it takes time away from work, right? So now when we're talking about work-life balance, we're talking about we still have our jobs to do, but then time is being spent on this. So I think we have managed it well. There is a bit of a mix between what we feel like. We don't love using the word mandatory, but there are certain things that we feel it is critical that full team attends, mental health training and things of that sort. But other things we have managed by optional attendance, right? If you're interested, come. If it doesn't work for you, give us the feedback. We're happy to hear it. If we're hearing consistently from the full team, you know what, that person didn't really connect with us. I don't think they got what we needed. That didn't work. We iterate. And so feedback for us is a gift. Not everything is going to knock it out of the park. Not everything is going to work. So I think it's been things of that sort that a lot of companies deal with. But as we learn, we iterate, we take the feedback, and we understand that as long as you're hitting enough topics that they're going to be relevant for someone, as long as something is super helpful for even if it's a few employees, that's a win for us. Like, that is someone's life that we're impacting and we're helping. And so we take that as a positive.
Nice. Yeah, there is nothing worse than being forced to go to, a meditation
Exactly.
meditation workshop or something, right?
Yeah.
And so later on in 2019, you also launched Headway. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So Headway it's very near and dear to our hearts. So unfortunately, there's a sad story that gets us to Headway, but we feel it's been a positive outcome. So in 2014, our founder, Luke Sklar, was diagnosed with clinical depression. He shared that with the team. At which point there was obviously a lot of accommodations and support as he dealt with that. He battled it for 3 years, and ultimately in May of 2018, he died by suicide. So he had a lot of support. He was hospitalized for a period of time, but it still ended in this way. And obviously that had a huge impact on everyone in the team. For a lot of people, it was the first time they were seeing depression in action. There was a lack of understanding on what this looked like. Like, someone who hasn't gone through it, they struggle with understanding how someone can get to this point. And when it hit us at that level, right? Like, this was Luke Sklar. He was our champion, our leader. And the shift that occurred with him, it was just something very, very hard that the team dealt with. So when that happened, we had touched mental health a little more lighter touch, but we very intentionally wanted to provide some support behind it. So there was 3 things that the team did immediately at the time. It was education. So let's have some real training with the team, understanding anxiety and depression, what it looks like, what are those signs and symptoms, how do we recognize it in ourselves and others, how do we care for people, what is the right way to support. With a topic like this, we often find people are afraid to talk about it or to ask questions or to support. Like, you might notice changes, but you're like, it's none of my business. And we very actively say we know what it is, especially as a manager. Sometimes we're not telling you to diagnose. There's a lot of things they're not meant to do, but supporting, accommodating, recognizing those signs and really stepping in, because we spend a lot of time with each other. So there was a big portion around education for the team in the various levels. We took a look at our resources, making sure that our benefits really matched what we were looking to do, redesigning that, and then expanding our S32 program, including mental health content modules a bit more deliberately. But we wanted to do more than that. So the team talks about having Luke level impact. So a year after his passing, so May 2019, we launched Headway, which is this initiative really looking to make impact beyond our borders. So we wanted to help others as well. So we were looking at ourselves and ensuring we had the right resources in place, but we also wanted to help others. So there was a kickoff event in May of 2019 for Headway. We brought 500 high-level executives together to share Luke's story, to inspire. We had some great speakers and encouraged people to pledge to make mental health in the workplace a priority. And then our intent since then has been to support that. So through sharing resources, how to get started guides, like by no means are we mental health experts, but we associate with a lot of them. We can help point them in the direction of people who can help guide this. And obviously, so this happened, this was almost 5 years ago now with the pandemic that exacerbated all of a sudden. This was a topic that everybody was very interested in. We were already working on this path, really looking to create those mentally healthy workplaces we started with Canada, we've expanded to North America. We're now open to whoever wants the help. We've got the resources and we're looking to support. So that was the birth of Headway, that has kind of these two elements to it. It's our internal piece, which kind of marries with S32 really nicely, but also how do we help others?
Nice. That's great. That's great how that's expanded. And so one of the things that we look for in the Canadian Workplace Wellbeing Award winners is the incorporation of positive psychology principles and practices in their wellbeing programs. So why was that important for you to have positive psychology informed programs at Sklar Wilton?
Well, it's interesting because we actually haven't talked about what we do. So we're strategic insight partners. Like our whole business is actually built off of this idea of helping others succeed through consumer insights driven strategy is kind of the way that we form it. We have an arm of our business that is a research firm. So everything we do is really based in data. So even with Headway, when we kicked it off, we were looking at the trends in the market. So we're always looking at the numbers. What is the impact of this? What is the dollar impact? How many people are impacted? Obviously, those numbers are going up with what happened with COVID. So we start from data, numbers, information, and then through that, we're obviously looking at the positive psychology comes in through that, right? As we're seeing what is happening in the marketplace, what are we seeing, what are the right paths, and then it's testing and learning and talking to our employees in this feedback loop and truly trying to understand the well-being of our team as we help them succeed.
So it was, I guess, the evidence-based nature of positive psychology because
Yes.
you're such a data-driven company.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's important too, to have evidence-based practices, because then at least you know, and it's more informed. I mean, I recently attended a talk by the top leading researcher in the world on happiness. And it's very interesting how once you really have a great depth of knowledge on understanding certain things, even like practicing gratitude or acts of kindness or things like that. Once you understand the nuances, you change the kinds of practices and how you engage in those practices to make them even more effective. And I think that's what I love about positive psychology too, that it is founded in so much research, that it helps to give us a better understanding of our human experience. Now, I want to go back because your whole purpose really is to help others succeed. So it's really interesting how you take a well-being approach to helping others succeed. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Completely. Yeah. So I mean, this is another thing, as you were talking before, about what really helps us specifically. So our mission, our values, our purpose within our organization since its founding by Luke and Charlie 37 years ago was helping others succeed. So everything we do is on that mission, and it's what we have top of mind in all of our interactions with our clients, with our partners, with all of these people that we talk to. But we also know, because of that, our business is very people centric. Like, our people, our employees are the ones who drive our business model forward. And if we aren't internally ensuring that our people are well, they can't do their jobs properly, and then we don't succeed as a business. Like, it is a loop. We talk about kind of the people centric loop. Therefore, helping others succeed started from within. Like, that was the birth of all of that, was we can't do our jobs if we aren't well. And so we really wanted to start there, everything that we were doing constantly, because we evolve as we go. Like, we are changing on a constant basis because we take this feedback and we want to understand where our team currently is. And then that helps. So we are successful because we are taking actions to ensure that our teams are well, and whatever that may look like for each individual person. And then therefore we can help others succeed. So that can expand to our clients, our partners in the work that we do. And then also, kind of through Headway, taking care of their well-being too. So not only is it within their business, but also how do we help them support their teams so that we have this ecosystem of healthy people.
Exactly. Yeah, and you've had some good business results as a result of some of this. I'm just going to read some of it. 100% of people who work at Sklar Wilton agree that it is a great place to work. Wow. That's pretty incredible. 90% understand what resources are available for mental health. That's up from 77% in September 2022. 90% feel that these Sklar Wilton partner team prioritizes mental health at work. 90% of employees agreed that Sklar Wilton is a psychologically and emotionally healthy place to work. I mean, you've got great results from all of this.
Yeah, and that's very important to us. It's something we take a lot of pride in. And we track this we used to do an annual survey, and now it's 3 times annually, because we really want to understand where people are, where there are gaps. Like, if we have a number that's kind of below 80, we're taking that as a gap, and we're actioning it and making sure that we're addressing how everyone is feeling.
Does this help you attract the best talent as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, can you say more? Is it reducing costs? Are there other kind of business benefits that you're seeing from this?
Oh, completely. So as I just walked us through the people centricity of our business model and that need to attract the best talent. So we talk about our teams, we refer to ourselves as swans. So we're smart, we work hard, we are ambitious in a good way, and we're very nice. And it's interesting how that comes to life in our team. Like, everyone that you work with I've worked in other organizations, and it's true. Like, this is how it comes to life, and it's quite beautiful. So we look for that. Obviously, we're looking for people that fit in nicely and complement our culture and just make us better and stronger. We have a really long tenure within the business. So recently we've had kind of a lot of newer people join, but even when I joined, I think the average tenure was like 12 years that people were staying within the organization. Was just fantastic, right? Because you form, especially when we're partner-based organizations, we work with our clients for the long term, and you have some continuity there, institutional knowledge of the business and a lot of support. So that really works well to build our business and to continue to grow and to thrive within the organization, and to attract this talent. So we have a lot of new people coming in now, but also kind of with the expectation that they stay for these long tenures because they're really happy here and they know that this place is pretty special.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's really great. Now, you also have things like partner gift days, open vacation, true flexible hours. Can you tell us more about some of those perks?
Absolutely. And those are all, literally every single one of those are in response to this feedback that we take. Again, as we said, we take feedback as a gift. We're constantly talking to our employees. So actually, many of those started with the pandemic. We went fully remote. So we continue to be a fully remote organization. And as I mentioned, we do 3 times annual surveys, but during the pandemic, we were doing weekly pulse surveys just because we really wanted to ensure, as we were all remote and as we were learning about this, how people were feeling on a weekly basis. It was a 1-question survey, like, how is your mood and what's affecting it? And just hearing, obviously, everyone was having a hard time, but through all of that, what can we do to help? So partner gift days was something that was implemented early on, knowing those longer weekends always give you that opportunity to recharge, especially when everyone's energy was a bit low. So we tack on an extra long weekend to every holiday. So instead of it being 3-day weekends, we have consistent 4-day weekends. So those are partner holidays, those are not vacation days. Like, that's our partner gift days, which are really nice. Like, we were starting to see people came back really energized. That extra long weekend, it's fantastic when you get to just spend a little more time with your family, get stuff done, things of that sort. We implemented unlimited vacation recently. So again, with the intent of, we're not tracking it, take what you need, recharge as needed. As we're coming off a big project, you need a day off, that's great, like, do that. And in fact, we have minimum vacation, like, instead of the maximum, we've got minimums that we're tracking. Like, we only track it for the sense of ensuring that people are taking, at the very least, their allocated vacation in a year, because we know how important it is to recharge so that our employees aren't burning out. Like, we know that that is happening. Many of our teams have burnout stories. We share it very openly. So in order to combat that, we did this year, I think it was earlier this year, we had a across the team pay increase to combat inflation. So everybody was feeling a little nervous about that. So we had a 4% increase on top of everyone's annual increases. They rejigged the whole how they're managing inflation in general. So it's no longer like a standard number, but we are really looking at what the inflation numbers are looking like in the market. So many things are really coming out of that. So we're no longer doing the weekly pulse surveys. I think we're on steadier ground now, but many actions that allow us to care for our teams and make sure we're hearing what the team needs, right? So do they need a little extra time to make sure that they are caring for themselves and working well? We also have completely flexible hours. So there is no expectation that someone work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It's work on your hours, work when it works for you. Just ensure we're just very open on communication. So as long as your calendar is up to date and people understand where you are, like, not where you are, but like when you are available and when you're not, you can work absolutely whenever you want. It does by no means has to be 8 hours a day. By no means needs to be Monday to Friday. We know people have parental responsibilities, caring for parents, things of that sort that just takes precedent. We don't share if you have doctor's appointments, stuff like that. You just go, like, we're very flexible in how we work. And as long as the work is getting done, and it absolutely is, there is a lot of flexibility within the organization.
Well, and you would think with kind of unlimited vacation and true flex hours, work when you want, a lot of employers, I think, would be very scared, to do something like that. They would be like, oh, we can't do that. That's. And so, but it works for you. You don't find that people take advantage of that. So what has been your experience with that?
Oh, it's fantastic. And it is truly that. Nobody's taking advantage. People are using it to take care of what they need. We are all treated with respect. Like, we treat each other with respect and kindness, and we understand where everyone is, and we're very open. Another piece of it, and it isn't really something that's shared as openly, but is so critical when we talk about authenticity and just open lines of communication. So it starts from the top, but at all levels of the organization, we are very open with what's happening in our lives and what we need and where our limits might be. I have very frank conversations with my manager and with the full partner team. If a month is going to be rough for whatever reason, I have young kids, like, things happen, we manage my workload and we work together, and that works out. And I think it's that mutual respect, passion driven behind our purpose. So we really just want to help others. We all want to succeed. So we want to ensure that our clients are served, but we also want to make sure that we're well and that everyone is taken care of. And so the partners have had no second guessing and no qualms to do things like this because they trust their employees. They know that we're all driven by the same purpose. I mean, you read off some of those fantastic stats, but we also have questions on, like, do you believe in our purpose? Do you believe in the organization? And you have those same really strong results where everyone is really driving towards the same thing. They care about helping others succeed, and it matters to them. Like, that is important. Therefore, you're not going to not get your work done because you also just need to take care of yourself. And if you need to back off on something for a little bit because something's going on, the team understands that, and we will rally and we will cover and figure it out and make sure we hit all the goals. So it works quite nicely, seamlessly. There's no friction to it. There has never been, but it is a testament to the culture that has been built within this organization to create a place where there is just a lot of mutual respect.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking myself, if I'm really motivated and really passionate about what I'm doing, I'm going to engage. I'm going to be there. I'm going to show up. I'm going to put the work in to get the results. And if I need to take a Thursday afternoon off to take my mother to the doctor or, for a doctor's appointment, I don't want to have to stress about that. So I think having a really engaged workforce, having people who are fully present and really want to be there and aligned with purpose and value, I think can be way more valuable than whether you're counting, how many vacation days they or how many hours they work that day, or which is just a drag on their energy, really.
Is the work getting done that sits on your plate? If it's not, we will regroup and address how to get it done. Like, it's not even a criticism on you. Like, oh, we have this project in the next couple of weeks. Do you need extra help? Should we pull someone else in? Like, we figure it out, and it's nice because we care about the people, right? Like, it is important that you don't burn out in doing that, even if you're passionate.
Right.
Burnout happens with people who are passionate, right?
Right. Exactly.
So we take care of each other.
That's nice. I love that. Now, so you have won 3 years in a row. And, I often think, because I was an early adopter of positive psychology, I did my master's degree in 2008, 2009. So I've kind of gone, several years, 14 years of iterations around positive psychology practices, and I've seen things evolve. And I feel like I'm kind of in positive psychology 2.0 now in terms of how I integrate it, not only in my own life, but the people that I work with, the organizations that I work with. And I imagine, you have been doing this now since, 2013. You've been implementing these well-being programs. What are you finding? What do you think is kind of the next generation thinking around creating cultures that promote well-being?
I think that's a fantastic question. I love it because it's also, we're not complacent about this at all. Like, we keep iterating, kind of, as I mentioned, we have this feedback loop and we constantly change. And it was quite interesting because we are actually in a moment of big iteration as well. So we have this award-winning culture. It has been fantastic, worked really well for the team. And yet we want to do more and we want to shift it. So even within our team, so we've been talking about these programs, S32 and Headway, we have actually rebranded them. Like, as of this last year, we now think about, within our internal structure, our number one priority for our long-term plan, like we just did our strategic planning for the next 5 years, is whole person well-being. So our new it's no longer S32, it's no longer Headway, it's whole person well-being, and what that incorporates. And so I think we're seeing a lot of other organizations moving in this space where we have multiple pillars. I believe there's 6 pillars that are making up what whole person well-being looks like. We're going to continue some of the actions, but some of them will change. One of the big things we've been talking about is flexibility in everything we're doing, kind of as I mentioned before. And I think when you think about positive psychology in the future, it's not one size fits all. Nothing is one size fits all anymore. So how are we customizing for each individual within the organization? That looks different. I mean, we are a smaller organization, but it is something that can be implemented in a larger organization. So we have replanned so our whole person well-being through that lens of how are we customizing for each person to be able to pick and choose what works for them. So maybe it is you're choosing which modules are available, but we are rethinking, revamping, taking it technologically. How does it live in a remote world? What are those things that we can implement within the organization? Our benefits. So we've actually just changed benefit providers, completely creating flex benefits. So you can choose, there's a pool of money. What is it that you want to apply that for? But that customization piece, I feel, is critical as we move forward, as we're starting to understand well-being as an individual piece. And when you think about organizations, even with your large organizations, can't blanket it, right? Everybody's going to need something different. And so creating as much flexibility and customization as you can in this world is one piece we're really trying to lean into and crack and figure out how we do, thinking about whole person well-being constantly. So it's now all of the elements with your life. So it's your physical, it's your mental, it's financial, it's social, like connection, all of those pieces and how they work together. And then even, I mean, this is on another level, but when we look to the future of, so Headway and what had become, I talked a bit about our mission to help other organizations. We are looking into a Headway 2.0. We've had a lot of resource sharings. We've talked to a lot of people, but we want to be a little more active in what we're doing. So we're thinking of integrating it. We've started some pilot programs on how we're actually coming into organizations to help them. It's what we do as strategic partners. So how do we become strategic partners in the culture space to actually provide real change to organizations? So that's something else that we're exploring. Like, how do we take our learnings from our own culture? Again, it doesn't work for everybody, and help other organizations move it forward. So those are kind of some big shifts that have taken place internally with us. And that we're starting to think about how technology plays a role. We have a lot of conversations around AI and what is the role of that as it comes into our lives. We're asking a lot of questions. I don't think we have answers, but we are looking to how the world is changing. In the last few years, it's changed so much. We went remote. That's huge for how you're taking care of your teams, how you're ensuring that you're still connecting in the moments that matter is kind of the way that we look at it. But more is coming, right? As we see AI coming down the pipe, as we see benefits change, as expectations change, as those mental health issues now are more open, more talked about, but also more prevalent. Like, there are more cases because people are overloaded, because they're scared, because there's a lot of change, like there is a lot going on. And so it's ever more important that this be a priority for us.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, Megan, thank you again for taking the time to do this interview, to share your just excellent knowledge. It's just such a privilege and an honor to speak to you. And I want to say thank you for everything that you're doing, that Sklar Wilton is doing, and to improve well-being, not only for your own people, but for companies everywhere. So thank you so much. Congratulations again on your 3rd year of winning the Canadian Workplace Wellbeing Awards.
Thank you, Louisa. We love having these conversations. We're passionate about it, and we're so honored. And we love the Canadian Positive Psychology Association. It's been really lovely to work with you all the past few years. So thank you.
Great. Thank you.